Although, just to clarify, did I not fit into the boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen category?
Well, at the end, I always try to, tag somebody at the end.
No, okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you too, Timmy, wherever you may be. Normally it's Timmy, but I turned around and looked and you were there.
And I'm sitting right here,
yeah,
so I was, okay.
Easy target.
Yeah, fair enough. Hey, I got broad shoulders.
Timmy's in the well? Okay. Lassie, go get help.
Well, so like Mr. Unkefer said, coming at us next off of the summit side is Super Comp, the quickest of our heads-up super classes, running on an 890. Pretty much a category full of dragsters. You will see one or two door cars sprinkled in, but that rail does seem to be the weapon of choice here in Super Comp as our first pair comes out of the water here. Get things kicked off. Dan Seaman, Budweiser Lane out of Bellevue, Ohio. Got himself a blue oval powered dragster. Those are somewhat few and far between. On the tree, gonna run her out to an 891 with a 170 miles an hour. Our friend in the summit lane's a 904 at buck 73. Tim Marsh, Budweiser Lane out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. It's a multi-time best engineered car. Alongside Michael Savoy out of Tipton, Michigan. Young man, just 22 years old, the undercover built dragster. City Marsh, 19 on the tree. Trying to outrun Michael here. Gonna go 884. 177 miles an hour, while Michael's an 893 with the 7, just 7 thou under that 890 at 182 miles an hour. No name on either of these dragsters down there on the starting line right now. You see Alex Miller standing down there in the summit. That old red. Levin Light here in the Budweiser lane, gonna run her out 898, 168 miles an hour. 886, 161 miles an hour in the summit lane. Now Bill Rudy setting up shop down there in the Budweiser lane. The Mosier-backed Race Tech dragster, 632 inches of bow tie power on board. For the man out of Lima. Waiting on the competitor in the summit lane. Roll on up, there he goes. Bill Rudy. Top end 890 with the 7, 164 miles an hour. Got to be feeling good about that. And 003 on the wrong side of green, that's not too bad either. Not bad first pass there. Now Ricky Molnar in the Budweiser lane. 2016 American Race Cars built dragster. Drop dead gorgeous piece down there in the Budweiser lane, and John Grundy. Man out of Ashland. And down some rubber, 890 with a 5, 164 miles an hour there for Ricky Molnar. Well, Grundy's an 891 and a $155. Gonna put Ricky on top. Devin Eisenhower, Budweiser Lane. A student out of Lebanon, Indiana. Roy Eisenhower backed 2014 American Race Cars dragster, and Ed Wilcox. One of the few door cars sprinkled in here in Super Comp. Out of Detroit, Michigan. Here comes Eisenhower. Goes an 893 with an 180 miles an hour. While Ed Wilcox lays down an 883 with a 9, 149 miles an hour. Here's Ryan Rambo here in the Budweiser lane. This is another very pretty dragster. Right alongside John Burghardt out of Frederickstown, Ohio. Oh, Burghardt. Not going to get a time here. Recycle. And Rambo, 892, 176 miles an hour. Rose Richardson, Summit Side out of Woodburn, Indiana. And Howard Michael. Never trust a guy with two first names. Also trust a guy who's going to belt and suspenders at the same time. Rose going to run on down 888, 172 miles an hour. Howard Michaels, an 893 at a $170. Richard Bad, Budweiser Lane. Out of Mattawan, Michigan. Quite a few dragsters out here in the Super Comp category. Going 895, 181 miles an hour. Steve Bueller in the Budweiser Lane out of Freeport, Michigan. That's his occupation listed as miscellaneous. Kind of makes you wonder. John Kish. Bueller 890 with the 6, 177 miles an hour, while Sakish 892 with a 9. 171 miles an hour. Super Comp has got this figured out here this morning, it seems. Jeff McRoby, Summit Side, out of New Philadelphia, Ohio. Old school Spitzer dragster down there in the Summit Lane, and Pat Martin 2008 American, early model American. He's out of London, Ohio, running down McRoby. The catch with the finish line, 890 with an O. There it is for Pat Martin, 183 miles an hour. Gonna put that in the trailer and not touch a thing. 886, 157 miles an hour. There for Jeff McRoby. He goes, I want to go 890 with an O, with an O, with an O. Steve Hoyt. Rubel doing it a bit unconventionally here in the 67 Nova, goes an 894 at 147 miles an hour. Rubel here out of Oceanside, California, man. Talk about a hike, as we are going to run on down and take a look at that, is Don Rubel. A lot of smoke down there in the shutdown. And Mr. Runkefer, I don't know about where you come from, but around here, Mother Nature has been living erratically. So it certainly...
Well, we were into March back in my neck of the woods in Kansas City, but we were referring to it as January 98. Okay?
That sounds about right.
Give you an idea?
Yeah, we had snow, I think, the first week of April. So, Kimbra Fusting, butt side, 887, 176 miles an hour as we resume this round of Super Comp. Oh, this is Brian Rambo. I call that other car Brian Rambo, but this is actually Brian Rambo. That's a bummer. Anyways, he's down there in the Summit Lane. 2011 American Race Cars Dragster. Braga, 899 with a 2, 182 miles an hour. While Joe Fabitz is an 889 with a 7, 168 miles an hour. Allison Pros, Summit Side. Student out of Terre Haute, Indiana. Another absolutely beautiful paint job. Pros family. I believe that is Elena Haas in the Budweiser lane. That's just a wild guess, but I've got the microphone, so that's who it is. 897, $171. Allison 890 with the 5, right where she wants to be. 171 miles an hour. Now here's Rock Haas, Budweiser lane out of Commerce, Michigan, and Bob Pros, Summit Side. Kind of cool. The daughters racing, and now the old men racing right behind them. Check out Rock. Rock feeling it out here today. Triple zeros goes 884, 186 miles an hour. Well, Bob's an 886, 174 miles an hour. Here is Bud Brank in the Summit Lane. He is recently married, and if you know Bud, you would be shocked by that. But he is. It's pretty simple. He's punching above his weight. He's gonna go 891 with a 6, 163 miles an hour. I believe that car ran a personal best 60 foot earlier in the week. It's actually Tony Fagnilli's ride. Ed Jerusik, Summit Side out of Elyria, Ohio. And Joseph Fusting, Bud Side, the Phoenix Industries McIlvain Race Cars Dragster. Happy to have Dean and Amber on property here this weekend, as they are the official chassis builder of Summit Motorsports Park. Joseph, just a little red, no biggie though, 896, 177 miles an hour, while Ed's an 894, 179 miles an hour. Uh-oh. Krista Schneider lost the hood scoop.
Exclusively on the Fleetwood Mac channel, Sirius XM channel 30.
So Chris, I'm gonna go, just going topless, hood scoopless, alongside Mike Jirasek here. Yeah, let's go with that. You don't care though, 11 light. 890 with an 8, 172 miles an hour. They might just leave it off. Jirasek an 896 at 186 miles an hour. Kevin Trusty, Summit Side. Going Radical Racing Dragster out of Groveport, Ohio. Alongside Adam Gerber. Massillon-based dragster. Adam Gerber goes an 886, 176 miles an hour. While Trusty, 888 with a 3, 178 miles an hour. Gotta be an announcer's favorite screen here. They're not on files. Tonawanda, New York-based dragster down there in the Summit lane. Donna Braid backed entry. And Jeremy Mason here on the Budweiser side. Looks like some issues down there in the Summit lane, but check that out. 890 with the 1. 171 miles an hour there for Jeremy. Not a bad deal. Now Brandon Bergschneider, Budweiser lane out of Waverly, Illinois. And Charles Back, Summit Side, the 2000 Spitzer. Engineer out of Orville, Ohio. not right leaving the line, but he goes an 881 and a buck 61, while Brandon 902, 172 miles an hour.
At Caesar's Palace. I'm Rachel Steele, Classic Bio.
Now Scott Sattler in the Budweiser lane. And the cool shirt backed American Race Cars dragster of Megan Strassig. Megan just barely making it in the gates last night before we shut him at 10 o'clock. Gonna go an 889 with a 3, 184 miles an hour, while Sattler 890 with an 8, 167 miles an hour. Brian Casson, Summit side. And Kelvin Keene. Kelvin, 19 years old, out of Indianapolis, Indiana. Joining us here this weekend for the 11th annual Cavalcade of Stars, presented by Budweiser. KK 897, 157 miles an hour, while Brian's an 898, 168 miles an hour. Bill and Marianne Jackson in the Summit lane. Mansfield-based dragster and James Smith alongside. .901 with a 5, 170 miles an hour there for James. Bill and Marianne are an 893, 168 miles an hour. Jason Harding. Harding Motorsports dragster. It's out of Lancaster, Ohio. Down there around the Columbus area. Alongside a real pretty dragster here in the Budweiser lane. Pair of killer lights here. 006 for Harding. 009 in the Budweiser lane. Butt sides an 891 with a 6, 173 miles an hour. Harding's at 892 at a buck 71. That was one heck of a race, despite the fact that this is qualifying. Steve Eckerd, Summit side. 2001 Cutlass out of Pataskala, Ohio, and Brian Richardson. Richardson, that advanced chassis dragster, setting up shop here in Eckerd hopping off the starting line. You see a whole lot of that here in Super Comp, but he goes an 894, 166 miles an hour, while Bry Guy, an 896 at a buck 63. And how's Texas Roadhouse for a sponsor, man? Doesn't sound like a bad deal. Neither does Jegs, really. Suppose either one of those will work for you. There's really only 2 times a year I can say that word here in the national event. 001 light for the road. Texas Roadhouse back to entry at 892, a $179, while the Jakes.com entry here on the Budweiser side lays down at 896 at 182 miles an hour. Now Ray Conley, Budweiser's side, pulling double duty here out of Elyria, Ohio, alongside Michael Shelton. 2012 McIlvain, 601 inches of bow tie power on board. Shelton 010 goes an 892, 174 miles an hour. Well, Ray Conley lays down an 891 at 174. Phil Smida, Summit Side, and Greg Camplain. 2005 Spitzer for Camplain, 632 inches of Chevrolet power.
Rediscover news from the past to present day. Anytime, 24/7. BB King.
Smida's got himself a beautiful 2015 American.
Or at home. On Sirius XM connected to
Beautiful American. Well, Greg Camplain falling off on the top end, but check out Phil Smida, 890 with a 4. 182 miles an hour. Turns our shootout bump spot to an 890 with an 8. Yowzers. Yeah, we still got lots of cars left to run here. Tough crowd here in Super Comp this morning. Robert Bauer, Bud side. Young man out of Elma, New York. Right alongside Bruce Broker. He's out of Brunswick. Doing it in a door car. 81 Camaro weapon of choice here. $893 with an 8 at a $153. For Bruce Broker, while Robert Bauer is an 895, 162 miles an hour. Troy Stone, Summit Side. This was one of the guys putting on that vintage trailer sales, or vintage trailers, KB trailer sales, racer appreciation dinner last night. Was wildly successful, saw a lot of you guys down there. Alongside Rob Kropfeld in the Budweiser lane. Troy, 887, 117 miles an hour, while Rob's 006 on the tree, 9 O's with a 4. $171. Brian Folk, Budweiser Lane. Got some big names back in that drag show. Lucas Oil, Hoosier, Edelbrock. He's out of Durham, Illinois. Another vintage trailer sales entry over on the Summit side. I'm almost inclined to think that they don't pay me to think. Brian's feeling good. He's seeing the tree 004. An 890 with an 180 miles an hour. That's 2 dead 890s here in the first time out this morning. My goodness. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Very tough crowd. And Davey Markle. Davey out of Scottsville, New York. Markle 885, 170 miles an hour, while Leo 885, 177 miles an hour. Now here's Nick Folk. Summit side. Powered by VPX16 and Ed McCleft. The Orange Crate Racing Bag Dragster. Bad man in that dragster. 907, 176 miles an hour. Meanwhile, Dean McElvain lights and tires up to about 330 feet or so. And does his best Artie Beswick impression, backing it on up. He's alongside Steve Fields. Fields racing a dragster out of Carlton, Michigan. .92, 179 miles an hour for Dean and Amber McElvain, while Steve Fields is an 896 at 171 miles an hour. Attention in the pits, attention in the pits. Super Street, we need you to the staging lanes, please. Super Street, we need you to the staging lanes, please. Let's roll. Super Street, we need you to the staging lanes, please. And as Bob said earlier, there is that threat of weather in the area. So when we call you guys to the lanes, we are going to need you to the lanes. We're going to ask for your cooperation to get today's race run today. Seconds add up to minutes, and minutes add up to hours at the end of the day. If you don't believe me, just take my word for it this one time. Christopher Fields, 889 with a 1 at $1.63. While Tyler Bohannon here in the Budweiser lane is an 893 at 177 miles an hour as he hops out of the 63 split window into the 2013 racecraft. Now Gary Fleener, Summit side. The Diamond Dragster out of Port Clinton, Ohio. So one more time, attention in the pits, attention in the pits. Super Street, we need you to the staging lanes, please. Let's roll Super Street to the staging lanes, please. Fleener 004 wrong side, but he goes 887, 179 miles an hour. 892 at 167, laid down in the Budweiser lane. Ooh, Steve Schmidt here in the Budweiser lane. Brand new paint job. on that American Race Cars dragster. He was actually our R&R Auto Body Paint My Ride winner from last season, which is a program we have here for our Finish Line Club members. And at the end of the season, if you're the winner, you get a brand new paint job, courtesy of the fine folks from R&R Auto Body. And once again, did an absolutely phenomenal job there on Steven Schmidt's ride. He's alongside Nicole Medicis. Is that right? Right on. Good for one every now and then. Nicole out of New Lenox, Illinois. Max Sherrill built dragster. $889 with an O and 168 for Nicole, while Steve-O, $887 with an 8, 179 miles an hour. Attention in the pits, attention in the pits. Super Street, we need you to the staging lanes, please. Super Street, we need you to the staging lanes, please. Chris Balcom, Summit side. And Michael Swan. Race to Win Motorsports. Gonna go at 879, 174 miles an hour. Chris Balcom, 888 with a 9 at 152 miles an hour. Now Jacob Elrod, Summit side. 2014 American and Rick Schneider. Got our last two pairs of Super Comp cars out on the racetrack before we move into Super Street. Rick Schneider, 000, goes 890 with a 3, and check out Jacob Elrod, 890 with an O. That's the first one. That's the third one. Third guy out here in the first session going head man. These guys got it going on. It's getting crazy out here, man. Super Comp is going to be a category to watch here this weekend. There's no All right, attention in the pits, attention in the pits. We need Super Street to the staging lanes, and Top Dragster, we're gonna put you on standby. Standby, call for Top Dragster. So Top Dragster, you are on standby. Super Street, we need you to the staging lanes. Perfect light down there in the Summit lane. 889 with an 8, $176 Summit side, 893, $183 Bud side.